You're watching and listening to Wood and Erek. The show begins now.
Good morning, Eric.
Good evening, Wood. How are you? What's happening today?
We have big news today. We got another guest.
Oh, look out down there.
We do?
We're moving on up.
Oh my goodness. There he is. I see him.
A big good evening to Spawnwave.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
I'm happy to be here.
Also,
Better that you're here now.
a little bit later of a good evening because you're like an hour ahead as well.
Oh yeah, it's at like 8, almost 8:15 here.
Oh, East Coast represent, man.
We were running late today, so you pretty much jumped on the call before we went live. You and Eric didn't really even get a chance to talk. Do you know that he is in Australia?
No.
Yeah, he's in Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's
Wood
the whole
and
time-
good
what time
morning,
is
good
it?
evening.
What time is it in Australia right now? Though?
It's 10:13 in the morning here for
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he gets up early.
Tuesday.
So you're in the future.
Yeah, we're in the future. For Wood to come to the U.S., somebody had to leave the U.S., so we swapped places. So that's the story.
Yeah, that's how we worked it out with the government. We gave him a buzz. We were like, look, I want to move here. He wants to move there. Let's just get it done, you know?
All right, just make it quick.
All right, we have a lot to talk about today, but before we get into it, we got to do what we always do, and that's turn the alerts off because the show is going Wood. My lord. And that's check the voicemail.
All right, here we go.
Hey, love the cast. I was wondering if you like the band Queen, what's your favorite Queen song, and what do you know about Freddie? And I'm Jacob, big fan of you, Woods and Eric.
Well, I can answer that one.
Music man, go for it.
I love Queen. Probably my favorite Queen song is "Hammer to Fall." It's a nice rocky number. Great movie.
Funny story, growing up, it's not really a funny story. Growing up, I wasn't really allowed to listen to music. That's a story for another time. So all I really had to listen to was whatever was in the house. And we had that double platinum, whatever it was, Queen CD, like the silver one.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So I fell in love with a lot of older music growing up, but that Queen album was like it for me. As soon as I got a little MP3 player, I loaded that bad boy, ripped the CD files over. I loved it. Yep. Another one, Bites the Dust. That was my jam. We Will Rock You.
I had that same CD too. It's great.
And what was the other thing they asked? Thanks for the voicemail, by the way. What do we know about Freddie?
What do we know about
Where to begin?
Freddie?
What don't we know?
I don't know. What don't we know?
What don't we know? You a fan of Queen, John?
I mean, I've listened to their music. I don't know if I'm like a fan to where I like listen to them every day or anything. But it's nice that they had "Don't Stop Me Now" that syncs up perfectly to that Smash Brothers promo.
Yeah, it did actually.
Yeah. So there you go.
We pull that? No, don't worry about it. We'll probably get claimed for it, honestly.
Yo, that'll be claimed.
Yeah,
like
it'll be
3 times,
claimed.
Yeah.
100%.
I feel like I Want to Break Free has been like stuck in my head for a while. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I have a personal tale here. Okay,
Yeah.
do you guys remember a thing called Astro Jacks? A toy?
No.
It's like a
No,
yo-yo
but it
toy.
sounds sick, whatever it is.
Okay, so Astro Jacks, what they were, it was like 3 balls on a string. So it was 1 ball here, 1 ball there, and it was a string, and then there was another ball in the middle. And essentially, you could do tricks with it. And I remember once I did a talent show set to a Queen song. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but it was like a 6-minute Queen song, and I was just spinning these balls for like 6 minutes, and I looked like the biggest flipping fruit.
I can't believe I have a story about this as well. That's so similar.
That sounds amazing.
I used to go to theater camp, school, whatever, when I was like really young, like elementary. It was like a bunch of like 10-year-olds really like running around and pretending to do drama. And one of our projects was to go away for a week and come back with a show the next week. And I really liked Queen, so I was like, I didn't really practice. I was like, I'm just going to go and sing We Will Rock You. I was going to put the stool down, and I was going to like smash, smash, clap, smash, smash, clap. And then I realized almost immediately I didn't know the words really. So it became a lot of, buddy, you're a young man. Hard man, sing, and the street's gonna be a big man. I was just getting so blushed, and that memory has stuck with me as an embarrassing memory
so
my
cringe.
whole life. It was very cringe.
That's too bad. I feel like a lot of the audience should have, came in and backed you up, singing.
The audience was like 8 other 10-year-olds and the teacher. There was no audience. It was just me in a quiet room.
That's even worse, dude.
John, we have a little question that we ask every guest of the show, every being you are the second, but we're making it a tradition. Shoes on or shoes off in the house?
I usually have shoes off.
Thank God, finally.
Usually.
What's the usually?
Well, if I'm in like the unfinished part of the basement, I'll have my shoes on.
Right, of course, because you don't want to get
Yeah.
like, stuff all over your feet. These heathens to the right-hand side of your Discord screen wear shoes on all the time, other than when they're sleeping and showering. Is that not weird to you?
I figure most people had like slippers inside around like the bedroom and stuff.
I'm barefoot right now. My toes are
Oh,
free.
there you go.
I do
That
have
too?
slippers. They just don't fit as snug. It's hard to get a good fitting pair of slippers, I find.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I don't want to get
I've
into it
looked
again, but...
Okay, well, it's all right. Well, then.
But I was going to say,
whoa.
but these two heathens somehow think that shoes on is more comfortable. Can you wrap your head around that logic at all?
I mean, socks, it's fine. Just
Yeah.
walk around the house.
Tell
Yeah,
me
I don't know.
All right.
I see. I find socks. Okay, well, we're not going to get into it, but I'm just going to say my piece here. Socks are a liability.
Yeah,
Okay,
look,
I don't care what anybody
We're not going to
says.
get into it, but no, they are not. And okay, whatever. We'll move on. The first actual thing I want to talk about, we got a lot to talk about today. Usually we stay relatively away from gaming here accidentally, but we do want to dive into the Nintendo Direct and the Mario casting. We'll get to it. But there is something that I want to talk about first. And I like getting to know people and our guests, John being the second one we've ever had. But I want to get to know you a little bit first before we dive into that. And what I mostly know about you is you love video games, you love fixing consoles, and you love working out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You've been helping me on my journey, and actually something that I've been waiting to reveal to my buddies here who I usually do this stream with is you've been helping me hit my goals, and as of this week, I am for the first time under 180 pounds that I ever think I've ever been in my adult life. Thank you. I appreciate it. And you know how I told you guys I was going to aim to lose 5% body fat?
Yeah.
I was at 21%, and I am officially at 16% body fat.
Wow.
Wow.
Did
Right on
it.
the mark, man.
Crushed it. And
Good
Spawn
stuff.
has been there through the whole journey, giving me like recipes. I've been sharing naked photos every
done.
day for advice and tips.
I live for those.
Spawn, do you want to tell us a little bit about your journey? Like, what are you currently trying to achieve?
Oh, I was just trying to be in really good shape because I thought it'd be funny to play video games all day but have like abs and everything.
You did it as a joke, as a meme?
Pretty much. I mean, I started working out hard like a year and a half ago and eating on like a certain diet. Just as that, just to be funny.
Because if you go back on your channel, it still surprises me when a video pops up from like forever ago and I watch one of your videos. You were a big boy. You're a husky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's day and night now, especially when you see some of these tweets you're posting.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a while, but if you stick to it over the course of months, even a year, you can change really well, like the way you look completely from top to bottom, just by going into a calorie deficit and spending time walking or lifting or whatever you want your goals to be. It's not as complicated. I think people overcomplicate it.
Oh yeah,
and they psych themselves out of trying it at all.
We know people that overcomplicate it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd say majority of people overcomplicate it, and then they just decide not to do it because they think it's impossible. When it's really like, if you just changed up the diet a bit and walked for like 15-20 minutes a day, you'd be surprised.
So how long has it
That's
taken
literally
you, like, from when you started to like how fit you are now?
I mean, I guess at one point I was like, I think I was almost 230 pounds at one point. That was a long time. That was a long time ago. That was two and a half. That was like 8 months before I met you at Too Many Games that year. So that was like 2.5 years ago, maybe.
And I gotta ask,
Maybe 3 years ago.
I put a tweet out there, and I asked people, like, what should we ask? Have you done this all natural, or has there maybe been some other substances included?
I'm not responsible.
Oh, I actually get that question a lot. I am completely natural. I have not used any kind of PEDs or anything. But
Good.
the fact that I get that question is actually good because that's why I work out really hard. So
It's a
people ask me that
compliment.
question.
I'm glad you.
Yeah,
like
I
it.
want.
I'm glad. You
I want
like the
people to ask that.
question. Yeah. Well, I'm
Yeah,
glad.
yeah.
I'm very glad because we've organized this.
You've organized it.
They ask me if I'm doing steroids, and I say no, no, no. But then they showed me this one juice guy, and I said, oh, he's yo. Steroids or no steroids? The game show. That's right, everyone's favorite game show, steroids or no steroids. Now,
I think like when people, for example, some people will see us all at too many games. You'd be surprised. Like you'll see a picture of somebody online who just worked out and like, you know, have like veins popping and stuff. And you'll see them in person. You'll be like, I thought they were bigger than that. Because like if you lose a bunch of weight and body fat, you get smaller, but you appear bigger. It's a weird thing.
We all take these nice photos, like in nice lighting, with our muscles glowing after a workout, and then normally you just look like arms. Like it's just pretty normal. That said, you're pretty much rocking veins and little hamsters under your biceps every day without trying. But the game show that is,
to be fair, people ask this. I don't know. I'm very vascular for some reason. Like if I do anything at all, I have veins popping out of like my arms.
Well, do you have the stream open right now that you can look at? Because we are going to play steroids or no steroids, and you're all going to have to look at the actual stream to play.
Okay. I'm watching.
And everyone that's listening to the audio version right now is cringing, like, oh, another video game, another video based, a visual based game.
Another
show,
video game.
We're gonna do our best to explain this here, but we've got some pictures, and I just want to get your opinion on steroids or no steroids for all.
Okay,
of these.
I got the stream open.
Okay. So first here, I just have some examples of some natural some more obvious ones. So we have a natural.
Where'd you get this photo of me? Oh, sorry, that's not me. Sorry. It looks like me.
I can see the resemblance though. Yeah.
Apparently, this more natural guy on the left, which, how do you feel about that? Is that natural on the left?
Yeah, I think that's achievable.
That's achievable, but on the right, probably less achievable.
Probably less achievable. Yeah, I'd say that there's some PD use in there.
He looks like a very vain person.
Moving on. This is another example Erek found online of this. I don't even believe it's the same person.
It is.
Oh God, we moved on too quickly. Hold on, let me go back.
What?
I would say that's steroid use.
Yeah, probably, yes.
Okay, so from here, we're just gonna see examples, and we have to decide how we feel about them.
This looks like cauliflower.
And or broccoli.
Just a picture of cauliflower.
Ghost broccoli.
Where's the person in that photo?
I think is that Bane from Batman?
I don't know. There's no way that's legit though.
What about this guy? I mean, this Calvin Klein model. That's
No,
He's got a lot of.
that's legit. He just doesn't have a lot of body fat.
Yeah,
He's got a lot of body oil on.
If you saw him in real life, he would appear pretty small, actually.
he's also kind of like oiled up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In
Yeah.
the lighting.
Oil up and hit the gym with me.
What about this guy? Handsome guy, very big.
Yeah, I'd say that's legit.
Well,
I don't know.
Who's he asking though?
That's tough too, because I mean I think that is achievable. It doesn't look like over the top like we saw some of the other guys.
Okay.
I might be inclined to be okay because I usually when it comes to this kind of thing I lean on the benefit of the doubt side rather than just immediately say
well, that's why we're playing
using
the
something.
game, because you get this question a lot, and I have never asked you because I know the difference between, for the most part. I mean, sometimes it's a little more unclear, but take one look at you and you can tell.
Yeah, like usually I know a lot of people talk about like capped shoulders and stuff is usually a sign, but
this Greek god here, how do you feel about that?
I think he's mostly just like 5-6% body fat. He's
That
just
is insane.
really low in
That
terms of
is
body.
like-
You can almost see the muscle
Yeah.
structure on his right arm.
It's
like the
I
way
don't like
one's
it,
supposed to
honestly.
us.
I don't think I'd want to be
No.
that fit.
That's
No
that's a
way.
really unhealthy because he's also drained a lot of water out as well.
Yeah.
Like he's very dry, and that's not a walking around.
I feel like you could
weight.
like walk past like a hook or something and accidentally like rip a peck off.
Yeah, see, in this case, like people will look at this and assume that they're also like really, really strong and all, but like when you get to that point, you're always tired and it's not great.
Well,
So I look at that as kind of a more unhealthy side of things.
you and I now, I actually got you to take some water weight loss pills with me. I don't know if you wanted to say that publicly, but I
mean, it's
I said
dandelion root mostly.
Yeah, it's just some like healthy like flour, really.
It's like herb. It's like herb stuff.
It just kind of like gets the water weight to move through you a little quicker and you pee more. But the point of it is to kind of like lower your body fat percentage kind of in a fake way, but in a way where you look trimmer. But when you don't have that water retention on you, it's crazy how much your lifts go down.
Yep.
That's
you don't hold much water then. Yeah.
That's the whole point of taking creatine is the opposite effect. I mean, you're taking creatine to kind of retain water to help you lift more. And then what we're doing is the opposite. So like we're not losing strength technically, but I feel so weak.
Yeah. This person just looks really thirsty.
What about this?
Oh my god.
Okay. That those might actually be injections maybe. Like people put stuff into their arms and stuff to make them look. Yeah. That looks like
arms
something might
look
pop.
like chicken nuggets.
What about this guy?
Okay, yeah.
What about this guy?
Yeah, that dude must be on steroids.
I gotta say a couple of things.
What
One, my God, you look good. I sometimes for inspiration, I go back to this photo. I actually have this pinned up in my gym here in the garage.
That's great. That's great.
But no, another reason why I wanted to do this is because you get that question a lot. And I think just by going through these pictures, you have to be pretty clear now, everyone watching at home, like the difference between steroids and a guy who's just gotten jacked over the last couple of years.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't stop looking at this. This is great.
I'm actually about 6 pounds lighter than in this picture that I am now.
Because, yeah, as good as you look there, it's very clear you don't have those telltale signs of bulging muscles, like the crazy like back acne that you get, or the acne you get when you're on steroids. Your chest isn't like ballooned out. Like you're just a buff dude. Like that's so natural, and that's my goals right there.
For sure. Oh my gosh, I would love to be like that at least once.
I know. Can we like do a Freaky Friday thing at too many games in a couple weekends?
Just swap.
It's just hundreds of hours at the gym. That's all. So.
I've been trying. I'm like 2-3 hours in the gym. I feel bad for my Amazon delivery driver. I ordered 70-pound, 80-pound, and 90-pound sets of dumbbells. And
that dude must have been really mad.
They all arrived today, and I realized maybe I should have spaced out the delivery because someone had to bring that to my doorstep one at a time. Like these
every time you order those weights from Amazon, I'm sure the delivery people are like, "Oh, not this guy again." Like,
I mean, tell them. Well, you don't have to eat a bunch of boring food either.
No, yeah, I mean that's the thing. People really, really overcomplicate diets. I did keto for like a year and a half, and I hated it. Honestly, I wasn't really losing weight. I wasn't really getting anything out of it. I was just eating fat all the time. I got so sick of eating cheese. My diet was so limited in what I could eat and what I could make. And most of like the fun cheat meals are like cheesy chicken ranch dream. And it was like this like heavy like fat and bacon. It wasn't fun after a while. But now, without overthinking everything, I'm having the time of my life. I've lost 5% body fat. At my size is crazy. I'm down to 179. And you know what I've been eating? Whatever I want. Literally whatever I want.
Dude, the photos that you send of food, for example, you sent us a photo of some ramen that you've been making over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Man, that looks tasty.
And that's the thing. Like, you still have to be health conscious. My ramen is chicken broth, which, like, 4 cups of that is, like, 100 calories. Like, it's nothing, and there's protein in it. I use Miracle Noodles or Zoodles. Either way, you're coming in under, like, 30 calories because a whole, like, zucchini is, like, 30 calories. Then you just throw some chicken in there, an egg, some spring onion, your salt, whatever you want. You're coming out under 200-300 calories for a full ramen meal. And that's just one meal, and my daily
good.
limit's 1,800. I'm waking up in the morning, eating a Spawn Wave special, like 4-stack of French toast with like whipped cream and like syrup, like sugar-free syrup, like all this. That's my breakfast. Then for lunch, I was making like my own full-sized pizza with like cheese and pepperonis on it. And then for dinner, I'm eating like meatballs and cauliflower rice, which I love cauliflower rice. Like, it's really like I can eat as much as I want. I can eat whatever I want. And I don't have to eat like, I can have normal rice, but if I have normal rice.
I had an entire pizza tonight.
Yeah. It's just, it's everything in moderation. And 1,800 calories, which is what I aim for, is so many calories. Like, I can eat so much in a day. I usually end my day with like half a tub of Halo Top ice cream. Like, almost every day I eat ice cream.
Yep. I think people assume that you have to eat like dry chicken and stuff every day. And it's, you don't have to. It's nice. I'll have burgers, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah,
I was doing that.
I was sorry. I go on tangents, Eric. I'll stop after this. But I showed the guys, we got like both. I got Max to buy him too, Dreamcast guy, those 63-calorie buns. And I literally just made lean beef burgers with cheese and lettuce, tomato, all of that, like sauce. And then just put the 63-calorie bun. You're at like 300 calories for a whole burger. Like, it's crazy.
That's
it's
crazy.
Nice.
Go,
Load up some vegetables, all that stuff. Yeah, you'll be stuffed too.
I was I've told you guys how like last year I dropped dairy from coffee. Now I'm only on the ice blacks. But around that time, like I wanted to change my diet as well because you get the whole lockdown blues, or you get the quarantine 15, whatever it was last year, and I was like, I want to change my diet, so I started having during I would have a midday lunch, which was just I would cook a pan fry a chicken breast, and cook it pretty well, but with like a broccolini bake that I would do. So my lunch would be just one chicken breast and broccolini, and I would look forward to that every day. And honestly, it's one of those more rewarding meals where you eat it and you don't feel full or bloated or anything like that, as opposed to the fast food, which I normally eat now, which is
the thing is you can also spice that up with so much. Like, just grab like a carrot and like slice it down, put some salt 100%. On it or pepper on it, and put it in the oven. And you can put that on the side. Now you have broccolini carrots, which have added like almost no calories in a carrot, and some chicken, and you're set to go.
Yep.
I mean, you can even get a little like risky and put like a slice of cheese over the top of the chicken and melt it. I mean, it's an extra like 50 calories, but
I was doing mozzarella, and I would like put a lid or something on top of the chicken so it would steam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I thought that was a pretty good little diet.
It's so and I gotta say again, thank you to Spawnwave, because you got me to stop keto, and I've never been happier. I've never been healthier. I'm eating whatever I want, almost whenever I want. I'm just counting calories. Like, I know right now I've had 700 calories today. I woke up, I made a giant smoothie, and I made an egg white omelet with spinach, turkey bacon. I had a half low carb tortilla wrap because I just needed some carbs today, even though I'm not supposed to be having them. And I had all that under like, it was like 650 calories. I still have 1,000 calories I can eat today. I can eat whatever I want. Like, what? Like, what's 1,000 calories? Like, that's so much food.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
If you eat
That's a lot.
If you eat the right stuff, you just got to avoid the wrong things. Like, I found out that like one wing from Wingstop is like 180 calories. So I could have like 10 wings and be done for the day. Or I could have like a burger, a pizza, French toast, all in one day, as long as I make it myself.
Yep, that's the thing. You do end up cooking a lot, but it's worth. I think it's worth it.
Yeah. Sure.
Anyway, but yeah, people definitely overcomplicate it for sure. Way too much these days. You got keto, paleo, intermittent fasting, which is actually pretty great.
About keto, I know that you're saying that's what assisted you in with losing a bunch of weight, is getting away from that. Over the last year and a half, though, I have lost 65 pounds doing nothing but keto.
Yes, keto is a great diet.
It's great if you have a lot to lose. If you don't, then calorie restriction probably better.
Yeah, keto, I always forget to reiterate this, but all those diets I mentioned in keto specifically are great diets. They're not like, they're more complicated, they're harder to stick to, but especially if you're in the overweight category and you can stick to keto and you can stay in ketosis, which is really hard to do, but if you can do it, you will shred weight for sure. But I personally, for my taste, I would rather the longer haul, which isn't really a long haul, but the longer haul of just staying under my calories and getting to eat whatever I want. But it's all a personal thing, like, and what you want to do, really. I mean, some people might only like chicken, bacon, ranch, and eggs, and they're like, well, keto, I can eat all that on keto, perfect.
Yep.
All right, we should probably get away from the buff guy stuff and into the nerdy guy stuff. And
Why not both?
Right? Why not both? I mean, as John would say, it's just for a meme. Just for a meme.
Yeah, it was just to be fun, just to be funny.
I gotta start with this before anything. Did you? I know you saw, John, because you tweeted about it. The OLED is out. The Nintendo Switch OLED is out.
People seem to have gotten a hold of it. So I don't know if they fell off the back of a truck.
I don't know.
Or what. But somehow, from what I've heard, a couple people I heard that they had bought them from reseller sites. So like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. So I think, yeah, they got out from somewhere and they're just being sold randomly across the US right now.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Kenson uploaded an unboxing video today. The thing is, I don't mind the OLED getting out, but when someone this close to like the community manages to get one, it's always a little frustrating. At the same time, power to you, Kevin, but it is frustrating because it's like I still have to wait a week to make my video.
Well, it's worse if you're someone who's under embargo and you have it now.
That's true. Yeah.
That's true.
That's got to suck.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you're like, oh. Because, yeah, I mean, I expect Kevin to do a bunch of videos around it, trying it with different things and getting comparisons. That's what you're supposed to do when you get something like this as a creator. So he'll probably, I assume, have several videos out over the next 10 days.
Well, I asked him where we got it. I don't know if I believe his answer. I'm going to call him out. No, he said he just found it, he said. He said he heard they were out and he just drove around to some local stores and he found it.
I can believe that.
I will tell you, if it was a smaller store, that's a bad idea to sell that thing.
I know.
When we ran, it was a store that we had a whole contract for a distributor through Nintendo, and some of the fines were like they would ruin a store kind of fines.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I used to get where I would shop for my retro games and all, just even the latest releases. I would actually go out of my way to not go to GameStop and support the mom and pop store. I became good friends with the owner and stuff eventually. And he would always send me a message on Facebook and like with a photo of the new release a couple days before. He's like, make sure you can come and buy it, but don't tell anybody. Like it's you kind of do it under the table a little bit. So that hookup.
I know Bob would find a store in New York or something somewhere. Because he posted on Twitter the day before that he got it.
I mean, if they're getting out in the wild, you would think like the home of Nintendo of America would probably be one of the first places to have them shipped to.
Yeah.
But I don't have local stores here. That's the thing about Texas. Everything is big chain. Whether it's food, game store, anything, it's all big chain. So I messaged my contact at GameStop. They were like, they're not even in our store yet. And I know he was being honest. I messaged the one local game shop that I know, and they're like, we don't do that. We buy, sell, trade. That's why I don't think it's in stores yet. I think these came from distribution center somewhere. I think
that's my thought. I don't think they ever showed up in stores because I've never heard of the Nintendo system like that showing up this early to a store.
I think I love Kevin. We'll have Kevin on the podcast at some point, but that had to have come from somewhere.
Oh, I see. I figured he got it like secondhand. Like that's what I would assume. That's what I think.
Secondhand a week before.
I mean, if he posted up on Facebook or something.
Yeah, somebody would get it early
that's
from
what I
the
assume.
distributor and then sell it on Facebook. Like it'd be as easy as that.
That's how a lot of people. There were some people on Twitter who said they bought it from like what's that one? One of those apps on your phone that you go on it. Yeah, that one. Yeah, they found it like one of those, and they're like, okay, I'll go buy it.
I looked on OfferUp immediately. I looked on OfferUp. I looked on Facebook Marketplace. Man, I want one so bad. How nice! Also, it would be great to get one early because the day it comes out is the day that you and I are going to too many games.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. My plan for that is to pick it up in the morning, film an unboxing, upload it, and then head to too many games.
Yeah, they asked me. They were like, "So, like, we'll fly you in Friday morning?" I was like, "Nope, no, I don't think so." And they were like, "Why not?" I'm like, "The OLED comes out, man. I gotta make a video." And the funny thing is, Too Many Games is ran by Screenwave, and I'm on Screenwave. And they were like, "It'll be fine. Just come in." I'm like, "Do you guys honestly not want me to make this video? Because it helps you too. You know that, right?" Like,
yeah.
You take a portion of my revenue. Like, you want me to make this video. So I'm flying in at 8 p.m. now. But it would be nice to have
Did you figure out when your panel is? It's not on Friday then, obviously.
No, because there's something we've learned about Screenwave is that they're not good with websites. They made ours, and for a long time it was .net.
Oh.
And on their website, there's no way to look at the schedule for the panels. You have to go on the mobile, and then you have to download a.
So you don't know when yours is?
No, I don't know. I can't find out because I can't.
Maybe I'll check it. Let me check. Because I actually downloaded the thing they need you to download to view it. So I will check it live right now while we're going through this. Okay.
Funny story there though. I know when it isn't.
Let me see. Too many games.
I know that it isn't during a certain other panel. Because I asked when I wanted my panel, and my Paul, who is my manager and does all of that stuff, he was like, so we're gonna put you in room 2. You'll be going on the same time as Scott the was. And before like the message even registered, I was already typing back, no, thank you. I would like to not be the same time as Scott the was because I would like people at my panel. But also, to be fair, out of like all the guests they have, and there's a lot of guests, Nintendo YouTuber with a somewhat large following, Nintendo YouTuber with a somewhat large following. Are you really going to put us on at the same time? Like, there's not a different creator you think that would have a different overlap in audience? And they were like, oh, no, you know what? You're right. That's a good point. We'll move you. And then I guess we will put the Spawn Wave panel at the same time.
It says you are 5 p.m. on Saturday.
Oh, late. Is that a good time or a bad time, really? For a
prime time?
Is it prime time?
It's after cosplay wrestling's done.
See, I feel like you do have the perfect time, and I mean, not Scott the Was aside, but that's why Scott the Was has that time because it's the perfect.
He's on the
time.
main stage. Oh yeah, it'll be a good show.
So you have the perfect time. I don't know. Would it be better to go like 10 a.m. when the doors open or 5 p.m. when the doors close?
I think after the doors close, because people are gonna be waiting outside when the doors open in the line just to get in. So by the time most of the lines through, your panel have been long gone because it takes like 2 hours for everyone to get through the doors in the first place.
I feel like 2 is so perfect because people get in, they look around, they're in for like an hour or 2, they're like, okay, I'm kind of bored. What do I do? Oh, let's look at some panels. But 5.
My thought is to go right for the marketplace and do a lap.
Yeah, exactly. You do that, and then you're done, and then you're like, oh, panel time. 5 p.m. is like, oh, Wood's panel's at 5. It's 1:30. I finished the floor. Do I want to stick around for 3 hours to see Wood? Or do I want to go get some?
Well,
hot
I
wings?
assume. I mean, they'll have Scott's thing to go to, so they'll do that. They'll go see cosplay wrestling for a bit, and then yours is right after that ends.
What is cosplay wrestling?
I love
they did that. They do that the past couple. They do that every time. You don't remember that?
No.
They set up a whole wrestling ring in there, and they have different people cosplay as characters from games or just pop culture, and then they do wrestling matches.
Interesting.
Sounds like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, it's like amateur like wrestling. Yeah.
Are they actual like wrestlers?
It's like WWE wrestling kind of thing.
I
don't know if they're. I don't know if they're.
Yeah,
I guess sure. You can sign up for it, I believe. I think it's just.
I could be Spider-Man.
I think it's just local people get together and do it. So you can probably get in there.
Funny story.
They'll put you through a table.
I've got like really into AEW recently, and I just had this thought like I could become a wrestler. I could do that.
They were gonna. We were talking about. We were telling Sean he should get in there and go through a table. So he might try to do it.
Well, it's like I have the hair. I'm like getting into shape. Like I'm fit. Like I have like a gimmick already. Like I'm like Australian, like from out of town. Like I could go into some local amateur wrestling places and
yeah, g'day, mate, guys.
You could do it
and take some bumps.
Don't they have school? They probably have schools around you somewhere.
Oh, definitely in Dallas.
You're in Texas.
The funny thing is, my buddy wrestles. He's like a full-time. I don't know if he's even considered amateur or like semi-professional. I don't know. But I was like, I want to get in the ring. I'm thinking about it. How many times have you been hurt? And then like. You see when those like 3 dots come up and they're typing for like a long time? I finally get the message and it's like broken collarbone, fractured a finger, like
they get hurt a lot.
And I'm like, my God. But the scary thing is, and like Kim and I have been watching a lot of like Dark Side of the Ring. It's so easy to get hurt. Like there's one clip we saw of like Dynamite Kid. And like I had to rewind the clip like 10 times because I couldn't see where he got hurt. Like everything looked fine. He just took a normal bump. And apparently he shattered his back so bad they had to remove 2 discs.
No way.
And I'm like, that could be me.
My problem is there's so much trust that you have to put in the person
Yes,
you're wrestling
yeah.
with that like and if you meet them that morning and you're like, all right, now we're gonna go jump off the
Yes.
20-foot ladder together. It's like, oh, okay.
When you really get into it,
Gosh.
you don't realize
Hopefully you catch me.
how much trust each wrestler needs to put into each other and how careful they have to be with each other.
Yeah.
There's so many like stories in either direction, but there's one really interesting one. I can't remember who the wrestlers were, but he was doing like a big suplex on the turnbuckle outside of the ring. And you can actually see as they're falling down, they're going at a bad angle, and the wrestler in charge of like in control manages to like pivot and twist. And at the last second, the dude doesn't fall on his head and like break his head.
Oh,
And the guy that was on the receiving end was like, yeah, like if he didn't realize I was about to get damaged and pivot, I could have been like paraplegic. So like there's so much trust in each other for stuff like that.
so you still want to wrestle now, Wood?
Yeah, I want to get in the ring. Yeah, I do.
The Australian guy from out of town.
From hailing
Honestly, I don't know
from-
why anybody's not laughing at that. I just think that's hilarious.
You could laugh.
He's
laugh
new
away.
in town.
I mean, it's as far out of town as you can get. Other side of the world out of town.
Yeah, I know. I live out of town.
Wrestling guy from out of. I guess. Yeah. Shut up. All right. Anyway, the OLED is out. Hopefully, John and I can get our hands on it for content.
Yeah, I'll bring it with me too. To Too
Yeah.
Many Games,
Well,
I
I'm
guess.
definitely bringing it with me. I'll bring. It's my new Switch.
Just
I mean,
Dread.
2 of mine are dead
Yeah.
now. This will be my new
God
one.
knows
That's
you need
true.
'em.
That's true.
Um,
Dread will be out too. So
Should I bring my broken ones for you to look at? Or you think you might not have time over the?
wait, one just needs a battery, doesn't it?
Oh, who knows with me.
I thought you were getting that serviced.
Yeah, one's in the shop. I haven't taken the
Uh,
other one in yet. I plan on doing
Yeah, the
the
other
old
one's in the
Switch.
garage. He's getting
Yeah.
the old oil change.
It sounds like something we say we'll do, and then we'll get there, and all kinds of stuff will happen, and we'll
Oh,
forget
yeah.
about it.
We have a plan to work out with everyone Saturday morning, and I'm in like two minds of like, I want that to happen, but will that happen?
It's
Oh,
bring your broken
yeah.
Switch.
Well, I
Hang
went-
on. Before we do anything, let me get my iFixit out. And we'll,
I went last time we were there. I went in the Saturday morning worked out.
I mean, I'm going, but you know that people are gonna party Friday night. They're gonna wake up late. They're gonna want to hit the floor. I mean,
I still went to the party. You're the one who disappeared.
I sat in my hotel room and ate ice cream.
Ate ice cream. I remember you talked
I
you
had
talked about
tons of
that on your
party.
panel.
Chocolate, coffee, and vanilla ice cream brought up via room service.
nice.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we had some beers downstairs at the party, and then went to sleep. And
I'm
woke
not
up
a
and
big
worked out.
partier. I was there on my own, essentially. I mean, I was meeting
Yeah.
a lot of you guys for the first time, and I liked you guys, but I was like, I'm just going to eat ice cream.
Yep, I went to that Anytime Fitness place right across the street.
If it makes you feel
Worked
any
out
better,
for a bit.
I fell asleep immediately and felt so sick the next day.
As you would.
Well, now you know what kind of ice cream to eat, so you don't feel sick.
Yeah, exactly. I'll make my own with almond milk,
There
and
you go.
I'll bring it on the plane.
There you go.
On the plane. Imagine getting that through TSA.
I think Too Many Games gonna be fun this year, so everyone should come out.
Yes, yeah,
I would
very,
love to,
very
honestly.
excited.
Like now that we're like, at least all of us are really close again. I'm really feeling like I'm missing out, not being able to go to these things, man. I tell you what. So
You are
I hope that
missing
you
out.
guys have fun. I know I am.
Sorry
I
to
know
tell
I
you.
am. I know
Well,
I am.
I'll live stream it for you. I'll like just Facebook call you all weekend.
That sounds great.
Do you want to take a look
Yeah.
at the direct?
Yeah.
So first off, I want to say shout out to the Spawncast, which I was on a couple nights ago. That Spawn Waves podcast. They do it every Saturday night. At what 8 p.m. 9
8 p.m. your time. 9
8
p.m.
p.m.
Eastern.
my time, 9 p.m. your time. And I was on the last episode, and we like broke down with a bunch of other creators the entire direct. So we're not going to go through all of it again. You can watch that for my reaction to it, and thank you, John, for having me. But there's some fun things in here, but mostly I think everyone knows what we're going to be focusing on.
ActRaiser.
Apparently,
yeah.
that's really bad.
I heard that.
I heard that
yeah.
on the podcast that I was on.
Yes, people aren't too happy with it. The port or the remake.
So the show kicked off, and we're not going to go through everything, but the show kicked off with a huge Monster Hunter add-on edition of the SUNBREAK, and I'm actually really excited for that. Did you get into Monster Hunter Rise?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I played all the way through it and beat it. I didn't do as much the end game stuff, I think, as maybe you or Sean did, but I like Monster Hunter Rise. It was probably I would say the Monster Hunter that Yeah, probably the one that I got into the most.
Yeah, same.
I think. Yeah.
Did either of you play it?
No,
No, I'm not a Monster Hunter guy.
I
it
wasn't
never,
either,
never
but
clicked with me.
this one was like good. It was like I just got into it. I think because they made the traversal so much easier.
Yes.
With
That was a
like,
big part of it.
Yeah, you had the Palamute doggy that you could ride around on, and then you could
And the
like
wire bugs, so you could like
Spider-Man,
spider.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
My mistake is that
Spider-Man
I ended up picking up Bravely Default 2 at the same time when I was
not
leaning.
like that.
Same.
No,
I
I didn't
had
like
Bravely Default too. Yep.
I did not like it.
Oh, really? I thought you were liking it last time we spoke about that.
No, I got to chapter 1 and I was like, the grind is just way
It
too
was
hard.
so grindy immediately, and can I be honest? The writing was very cringe, and the story was boring. And I didn't appreciate the appropriation on the Australian. G'day, mate. Oh, bloody hell! What kind of Barney we got here?
Out of town.
Sounds like sounds like you're looking for Tales of Arise. That's what it sounds like.
I'm excited to play that, but I'm trying to finish Like a Dragon before I start.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that's a really good game. So
I'm
fine.
loving
There
it,
you go.
but I keep playing it like an hour at a time, weeks apart.
Yeah, that'll mess you up.
A new Mario Party. I've gave my thoughts on this.
It's fine.
I'm just annoyed that they breezed past the last one. I haven't said this, but I feel like the reason why they immediately just like shut down on that was because the Switch Lite came out. It couldn't really play it. So they were like, well, we'll just make another one really quickly that
This
will
looks
work
like
on
the Mario
Switch Lite.
Party. This looks like what everyone would have. I mean, this looks like the one they should have put out before. I know they wanted to make a brand new one.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
But this, I don't know. This looks good. They're leveraging the nostalgia from the first 3 Mario parties.
It's
Like, yeah,
working
that works
on
for
me. I tell you what.
I
was gonna have it online day one.
I would have preferred this as the game, but with like some extra maps and some like new stuff, maybe.
Mhm.
But you can totally tell that they were annoyed that the first Mario Party was one of the few games that doesn't work on the Lite, so they just dropped it and decided to move on.
Yeah, it's weird because that game still sold really well. And maybe that's surprising, but I have a feeling they weren't expecting Super Mario Party to sell like 13 million copies or something.
It has Mario in the title. How are they not expecting it?
I think the Switch in general caught Nintendo by surprise.
I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, it's done obviously well, but way better.
Well, they're welcome. I'm just saying, I had a big hand in that.
I don't know. What do you look kind of risky over there? Might have to cut you out.
They might need to drop me. We got some new Zelda goodness, but not the one that we really wanted. We got some DLC for Age of Calamity. I really enjoyed that game.
I haven't played
Okay.
it yet, so this is a good time for me.
That is a game. That is a game that is good, but it like the Switch needs some help there. Like it needs help.
Yeah. Well, that's again. I'm not gonna go into it because oh my lord, but that's why I was so sure the Pro was on the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've told this theory so many times, but on 3DS, the Hyrule Warriors ran really poopy smoopy, and it was shortly after that they put out the new 3DS, and they showed off how much better Hyrule Warriors was running on it as part of the marketing. And then this came out, and I was like, well, surely this means.
Like, I feel like if this is going to be a game certainly to go back to, because they're going to do this whole battle pass, and I feel like then they're going to release like another version of it again with that included on it, because they announced a couple of games. I'm trying to think of which ones they were in that Japan Direct that has DLC that Nintendo had released after the game came out on the cartridge. I have to double check which game it was, but I feel like they're going to do that with Age of Calamity, especially just ahead of Breath of the Wild 2 coming out. That's one to go back to with the new Switch.
Yeah.
Well, right now we're watching the Chocobo Racing, which is a highly anticipated sequel to the PlayStation 1 Chocobo Racing, which I don't know about you, but I'm sure the producer's into that as well.
Not really. I mean, it just looked like Mario Kart.
It looks
just looked
so
like Mario
much
Kart
like
with
Mario
Eevee.
Kart.
It does.
Oh yeah. Well, it has to. I mean, come on.
Like, I'm almost surprised that they included that in the direct. It's like, could you imagine if they put out like a, I don't know, Sonic Galaxy or whatever? It's just a Sonic game slinging around.
How
with a bunch of
about,
little
can you
galaxies
imagine
or-
if they put out a Smash clone that was all Nickelodeon characters?
Oh, that's a real low blow there.
Can I want to say, I did also find that weird. I'm like, this is literally just a Mario Kart clone.
It's bold-faced.
Yeah, I know. And they have the drifting. They have the same little like pads on the ground. Like it's bold-faced.
I'm
But
into it.
something
do
I
it.
found interesting is they decided to hold off on revealing the Smash character when usually they would like reveal it and then they would break it down a few days later, right?
Announcement.
This time they're deciding to reveal it and break it down at the same time, and I can't help but feel like that's because the same day they chose for that is the day that clone Smash Brothers Nickelodeon Pro game releases.
Nintendo's petty
Oh,
like
I'm
that.
sure.
I honestly
Sure
feel, because they also have barely really even mentioned it in their directs, if at all, and now all of a sudden they're like, well, we're just going to reveal it. Just swing by on the 5th.
Yeah, the 5th. It's interesting they picked that date, but I'm actually not surprised that they are saving the Smash character for that, because it's going to be the last reveal. You assume it's big, that it's not some little thing, and it's going to be Sakurai's final stream. So he'll probably have a whole thing at the end, maybe a speech. Who knows? He could even bring up Iwata at the end, because apparently the reason he's doing so much work on Smash is because it was something that Iwata asked him to do, ahead of him passing away. Yeah, he shared that in a Sakurai Speaks with Famitsu article as to why. So that's why he stuck with it so much. And if this is the last character, to him, that's going to be like closing out a chapter in his life.
For sure.
So
100%.
I don't think there'll be another Smash.
And Sakurai gets really personal in some of these Sakurai Presents. Like, he showed his entire house and living room at one point.
He does. It's quite surprising. I like it.
I mean, this is his baby. I mean, there's very few games out there that are widely loved, or even in general, that everybody knows who makes that game. And, like, you think about that person when you think of that game and you play that game. Like, there's very few games. Like publishers, developers, like, this is a Bethesda game I'm playing, sure. But, like, one person behind it, that never happens.
Like Miyamoto, maybe. Or that guy behind Nier, I don't even know his name, but like the weird, creepy face mask dude.
I guess to an extent, but do you ever really play Mario and you're like, this is Miyamoto?
Kojima, maybe. Kojima.
Kojima, I agree with that.
Yeah, for Kojima's, sure. That's another
Very
one.
few, though. Very few. It's not common at all.
Yeah, 100%.
And Sakurai and Kojima are like good friends, so there you go.
That's
it
cute.
Makes
like
sense.
That.
It all makes sense. It's all coming together.
I think we would be remiss to not at least speculate on this character here.
I mean, it's got to be. I think it has to be a massive announcement. It has to be really, really big. So I don't think it's like a Fire Emblem character or anything like that.
No.
I kind of think he closed. I think he closed out with Sora and just that's it.
Sora, what do you think, Eric?
I think it'd be pretty interesting for them to do a third Square character. I mean, like Sora, like I watch all the speculative videos where it's like, oh, this character is such and such. But like more recently, Sora has been kind of rumored around. As far as what I would like to see, I don't know. It's hard to say. I personally, if I could, my dream character would be to actually play as Shovel Knight or Isaac from Golden Sun. But I mean, obviously that's not going to happen. So probably more realistic, maybe Sora, I'd say at this stage.
No, did you say that Iwata asked him to do this, like this last character specifically, or just this last game?
The game Smash
itself.
Ultimate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could probably it was in a Famitsu, because he does like his column. And I remember he had mentioned that Iwata, when he was in the hospital, had asked him to work on Smash.
Okay.
Final mission. That's what it is. Here it is. Smash Bros. Ultimate was Iwata's final mission for Sakurai.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's speculation that it could be the Iwata himself, and it could also be Sakurai himself.
Why not?
Sakurai would be fun. I'd be like, yeah, you know what? Okay. What if it was Sakurai?
Two controllers with both of his hands.
What if it was Sakurai and his big gimmick is that he can become any character like Shang Tsung or something?
That would be pretty sick. The thing is, though, I don't think Sakurai would be the kind of guy that would sit there and design himself.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think he would be able to do it. I don't think he has that ego, but Iwata maybe.
Well, Nintendo apparently chose all these characters a while ago, and they've just been following a schedule, but they had to have realized, okay, this is the last character. Right. We're making this deal a while ago. When it's time to show it, to finish everything out, we'll have something really cool. Really
here's
big.
my thing, right? I don't have like this big speculative theory on who it could be or who my dream character is, because I feel like we've gotten pretty good everything so far.
Almost everything.
Obviously, it's not going to be some clone of like another Street Fighter character or like something like that. I don't personally care so much for Sora, but I do think it makes a lot of sense. And I broke this down on your podcast, but let me do it again here, my reasoning why. This is the final one, right? So it has to be a character, in my opinion, that kind of encapsulates Ultimate, something big, something final, something that really resembles Smash. And what is Smash? It's bringing a bunch of IPs together and worlds together. And Sora does make a lot of sense with that because that's what Sora is. I mean, Kingdom Hearts is bringing together all these Disney worlds and all these IPs. It does sort of have that feel, so it would make a lot of sense to end on that character. When I brought that up, someone on the Spawncast suggested Sephiroth would have been a good person to put last for that reason too, because he's literally coming in and like slicing everything apart, like the be-all end-all. That would have been sick. So if they didn't put Sephiroth last, which makes so much sense, it has to be something greater than in the same vein of. Otherwise, it's just a missed opportunity.
Is there any huge blind spot of like a Nintendo IP that's like it should have been included in for whatever reason?
Waluigi! That is the one that I would actually love, and I feel like people would hate it, but it's one, a massive troll, and it goes all the way back to the early presentations when he had a purple and yellow chair behind him in one of the directs. But also Waluigi, and I don't know why so many people are against this or don't see the logic. It's the only main character in the Mario universe that isn't playable in the game. Like Wario, Peach,
you
Daisy.
could also see someone from Astral Chain get in because Nintendo owns that IP now.
It could just be a generic Nintendo IP. I feel like it has to be a Nintendo IP and not something insane. If it's
I'll
not,
throw my head in with Waluigi. I feel like that's probably exactly it. Because there's a huge crowd of people vying for him too.
I won. Like I've wanted it for so long. How can
as
you
far
do
as I'm
Smash
concerned, that's it.
Ultimate and not have Waluigi?
Yeah, it's got to be in there.
I don't know.
I think you're right. I think it's probably him.
Master Hand, someone's just said in chat. That would be really interesting, actually.
That would be pretty.
I mean, that actually does make sense. But how the heck would you play that as a character? Would it be a mini Master Hand?
Master Glove. I don't know. Whatever.
All right, let's keep going on the direct. Kirby's getting a new game. I don't.
Oh yeah.
We won't go into it too much. I think it looks sick.
That looks amazing.
I find it funny. What you would know, Spawn? Who was it that made the article Kirby is finally getting their own game?
That was was that IGN or GameSpot or it was on Twitter and everyone was making fun of it because it's like that. Yeah, that's about right. That's the kids nowadays.
Did they not actually know? Like, I didn't read the article at all. Did they not? Did they actually think it's his first game?
I thought it was them trolling, but because I made the joke that did you see Monster Hunter Rise was getting like a free DLC thing with Rush from Mega Man?
No.
And Rush is getting added from Mega Man. And the joke was because how well Monster Hunter sells, whenever a new Mega Man game gets shown with Rush, people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's the dog from Monster Hunter."
Oh.
So like now I'm like maybe that is the case because I mean. Kirby's been around forever, but I feel like he's just always flying under the radar, especially now. So he gets his big 3D game. This is good because it changes up the formula that was getting stale because Star Allies was such a safe Kirby game.
It was 3 hours long. It was dumb easy. There's no way you could get even hurt once. And
that's every Kirby game recently, though.
Has there been a Kirby game of this style lately? I mean, I know they had Epic Yarn, but like a 3D platformer?
Not since like the 64, right?
Not since Kirby's Air Ride was really the only true 3D Kirby game.
There's never been like an actual mainline 3D. It's always been 2D.
Is
that's why I'm so excited about this. This looks great.
Yep, it looks very good.
Is that what the article might have meant then? Finally getting his own 3D full game. Maybe they don't. Maybe they
messed up the title.
They don't count the other ones. Maybe they were like, those aren't games. Those are side games.
Spin-offs
of something that never existed.
Yeah, I mean, could be.
Finally.
I mean, we as YouTubers got to know that like it's really hard to fit a really detailed title in, right?
I feel like just adding 3D would have fixed everything in that title to avoid confusion.
Touche.
So I tweeted out what did I tweet out? I picked like a random Smash character and I was like, hopefully they can get their own game next, finally.
I think that went over. I think like everyone who was making fun of it just went over everyone's head. Mostly people in the online.
Yeah, well, my joke was that obviously all the Smash characters have their own game. That's where they're from. But there were people in my tweet section like, I'm pretty sure they have a game. I'm pretty sure they didn't they want something.
It seems like this is just a standard article about it. Whoever just put it on Twitter, just Kirby's getting his own game.
They just didn't know that Kirby has had games prior.
I guess.
There
I don't
was
know.
one, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, it probably worked and got way more clicks
Oh,
than
yeah.
it would have otherwise.
You know what?
mean, look at it.
It's
We're
probably
talking
is
about
just
it
a
now.
troll, and we're all talking
Even, like,
about it.
Even
It's all-
Kirby's Return to Dreamland on the Wii, that was actually I thought that was actually a pretty good Kirby game.
I liked that one.
That was
a lot.
good.
There's been good Kirby games. The Rainbow
Yeah.
one where you draw on the DS was really fun. I like
Nimbus
that one.
Curse.
They just showed the Kirby crystal shards in the direct for the 64 like an hour,
That's
like
true.
like a couple minutes after that.
That's true.
Yeah, I know.
Finally, it's getting its own game though.
Yeah.
We all
Uh,
got rage baited.
Then Animal Crossing's getting a massive update. Look, I can't not mention this with Kim in this household. I think she would come up here.
I was gonna
screaming.
say, are a lot of people still playing Animal Crossing?
Unless you're getting
Not
into
me.
it now, I think the common consensus is that it's just gotten really boring. Like even
Too
Kim,
little, too late.
who put in like 600 hours, was like, there is nothing to do in the game for me anymore. And
Yeah.
the exciting thing when this game was getting revealed was that it seemed like there was going to be constant updates. It was going to be a constantly changing game. But it
Yeah.
really was just the game from launch. And then the only things they added were seasonal events, and those were cute, don't get me wrong. But they often boiled down to, it's Halloween. Here's a candy. Gift it to a villager and come back tomorrow.
You know,
Yeah.
I wonder if Nintendo was more open to doing further monetization on their games if there would have been more frequent updates.
How much money do you
Maybe.
need? It sold like 50 million units.
Touche.
Yeah, but it's still Nintendo is still allocating resources, and in their mind, they're like, well, it had its bell curve of sales where it's like just kind of treading now. But if we could get another $5 from everyone who bought it, then it's worth putting a
How
bunch of
can
development
we-
time in.
How
That's
can
how
we
these
get more
companies
money?
think. Yeah, that's how these companies are thinking. So in my mind, I'm like, if they had been more open to it, would they have then made paid DLC for Animal Crossing like a year and a half later? I mean, I guess they could introduce some paid DLC here, but it sounds like it's free content coming in November, and they need a whole
free.
direct to talk about it. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, they could add in like a ton of stuff. Like, you know how SUNBREAK is like a massive expansion? They could do a massive expansion and charge for it. And I think it would be worth it. I mean, as much as I rag on the game getting boring, there was a ton of content. I mean, I put 200 hours into it, and it was fun the whole time. You just hit this wall where it becomes nothingness. And that's where those constant updates were needed. That's where they
Yep.
would have come in and been perfect, but they never happened. This is 2 years later, but I would pay for another big update. I will say that Kim's really excited and looking at rumors. Obviously, they're adding in the coffee shop, which Kim's been excited about. Kim says
Brewster.
that she hates that it's in the museum because now she's going to have to go to the museum all the time to get there, which I can see that being annoying. There's also apparently theory that they're adding in new collectible stuff and a new wing to the museum. So in the older games, I'm saying apparently a lot because I never played it, but not only could you dig up fossils, but you could dig up those little wiggly guys. You know, you know when you like
Gyroids?
you build a bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can like collect a bunch of different kinds. So that'll add something to do. But I hope past those two things, there is a lot more content.
I'd say I got really into Animal Crossing back on the GameCube. That's probably the one I spent the most time playing. And then after that, it would kind of I get it. And then after like 40 hours, I'd kind of fall out of it. I get it again, then I'd fall out of it after another 40, 50 hours. So Animal Crossing on the GameCube, maybe it's because you got to get all the NES systems. Those are really fun to collect. But
I was
Yeah.
straight addicted. I'm like 200 hours. I'm not kidding. That's how many hours I put in before I was
Yeah.
like, this is getting a bit much for my life.
for this one, the newest one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've got eShop games to play and videos to make. I can't.
We had
sit
fun
here all day.
online. Like the online stuff was pretty cool, and we got everyone together on a stream. I mean,
It
that was
was
fun.
cool, other than when you try and put your island code out, you have to sit through half an hour of ding, ding, ding. A
Yeah.
villager is joining your island. And then we got DLC for a bunch of stuff. Let's just blow past this. Dying Light coming to the cloud, which I've given my opinions on. I don't like cloud. It's very laggy. I feel like Triangle Strategy is a game for Erek and the producer. You guys excited for this?
100%. I'm excited. I think it's good to see Square kind of return back to this tactics thing. Final Fantasy Tactics is something that I've always wanted to play. I love Tactics Advance. Obviously on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, you haven't played Final Fantasy Tactics yet?
No, not yet.
Oh,
That's gonna be a game for me to stream. I downloaded it on my Vita the other day, and I was like, oh no, I'll just wait.
Okay.
I'll play it with the people. But anyway, yeah, I like the graphical fidelity of this game. Personally, I was wishing that they would kind of look back into their older legacy titles like Chrono Trigger, Xenogears, and all that stuff, and kind
Yeah.
of do that. But I like what they're doing here. I haven't played the demo really. I don't know. It seems exciting, but I wish they would go for a different title for this one. actually.
Everyone is
pretty.
confused at the title because they were like, they did Project Octopath
It
Traveler.
was the same
and
thing last time.
And everyone was like, they're going to change
that
that name,
mean?
right? And they're like, yeah, it's Octopath Traveler now.
I
'Cause-
kind of liked that one though because it made sense. Like Octopath,
Yeah.
8 paths, and they're all
Yeah.
travelers. It was a weird name, but it made sense. What the heck is Triangle Strategy?
Well, if
Maybe
I
it's
had
a
to
story
guess, it
element,
probably
I
follows
don't know.
3 different
It's
factions who are at war with each other, right? Like
Probably,
3 different
yeah.
angles to it, right?
It's too literal. Like I don't know.
Mhm.
It's funny the way they title it, but I don't know. You feel like they could have come up with maybe a better name than that, but
I don't love it.
oh well.
I
Rectangle
also really
strategy.
liked Octopath.
Although, if you think about it, Final Fantasy Tactics is a very straightforward name too.
It is,
Yep.
yeah.
It's literally just a tactical Final Fantasy game, and they're like,
Give it a
Final
couple
Fantasy
years,
Tactics.
maybe we'll see how it ages. Producer, what do you think about this one here?
Yeah, it looks nice. Like it's pretty, and it probably has
It is
great
pretty.
music, right?
Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
otherwise,
did you
know,
not
whatever.
play Octopath?
Me? No.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh
It was.
my
It, I thought it was good. It's
I
definitely
loved
a very traditional JRPG.
God. Yeah.
But it was pretty fun. Yeah, I think it's worth
I'm
checking
still
out.
upset they moved away from the traditional combat turn-based, and like I'm not like huge on strategy, so on this style again,
Okay. You
So
like the idea of you like turn based much more.
much more. So I'm way less excited than I would be, but I loved Octopath, so I'm gonna play it obviously. We got a Dread look again. Now, did we want to look at what was new today with Dread? You said something was new.
Oh, they played. There were like a ton of previews that went out. People got to go to a Nintendo event, and they got to sit down and they actually played it on the OLED Switch.
Oh,
Like in handheld mode. They could record off-screen footage, but any of the direct feed stuff Nintendo provided. And from what everyone was saying, it looks like it's going to be a legit like possible game of the year contender from what the way people were talking about this thing.
Is there footage of that online? I can try and pull up.
Oh yeah, if you go to
Dread.
I think
Dread.
IGN had some. I know Nintendo Life had some very good
I'm
coverage.
sure something's on
Um,
YouTube, right?
There's probably just straight footage of it, yeah. But like the thing that was the most surprising is I think a lot of people are looking at this as a very 2D oriented Metroid, and it is in terms of gameplay, but the presentation, just from what they showed in the first 90 minutes to 2 hours, there's a lot of cutscenes going on and like 3D aspects and the perspective being thrown into it during boss battles, for example, where like you'd be fighting a boss and then it would shift to like the 3D perspective and Samus would do like a move around the enemy, and it looked very high production in terms of like its presentation.
I've got it up
Well,
on the
I mean-
screen. There's two things. This new Switch looks so nice.
So it looks
You see that
good.
screen? That screen looks like the bezels are like almost gone.
I know,
It's
it
really
looks
crisp.
so sexy. Ever since we've seen this Switch, whenever I'm playing mine, I can't help but stare at the bezel the whole time. Like, I can't wait till this is gone.
It
In
looks
terms of like
yeah.
story, like Metroid Dread has obviously been in, I don't know, development hell for a period of time. So they've been wanting to wait until like the technology was right. So obviously, if there's going to be a lot of story elements and cutscenes and stuff to kind of further the plot point and further the player to actually continue playing, I think this is a really good game for this. And obviously, you know, being on the OLED Switch, man, it's gonna look great. I'm just looking at the footage now, and this
Yeah, it
actually
looks
makes
so
me
good.
want to.
Yeah. Honestly, like I've been excited, but I've been watching the screen gameplay, like, you know, the full screen gameplay, and I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
But for some reason, now seeing it in handheld, you can tell how much depth is in the levels, how far
100%.
back some of the areas
Yep.
look like they go.
Yeah, the backgrounds are
The backgrounds
apparently
look
extremely
gorgeous.
detailed. Like there's a lot
Yeah,
going
look at it.
on
There's
around
so much
Samus.
going on. It actually looks like a factory. Usually,
Yep.
a lot of these Metroid games are not bare bones, but you know, not this detailed.
This looks
Yeah,
good.
it looks like a 2D Metroid that people have been waiting forever for. So I'm glad it looks like they're delivering on it, because people have been waiting since 2002, 2003. It's been, I think, 2003, right? For Fusion.
A long time.
Samus Returns
For-
was really good.
On GBA, yeah, I think.
Yeah,
you're right.
but people were waiting for, because this is after Fusion.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
So people have been waiting that long. Oh, they also explain how
19 years.
Samus loses all her power. You know, you gotta lose all your suit abilities
Yeah.
in the beginning. They explain that too. So,
Of course.
but
Well, no
I mean, it looks
spoilers
like
from
it's
us, or
pretty
else
good.
Arlo will have a heart attack. But
It sounds losing all your power at the beginning of the game sounds dreadful.
Yeah, but that was the other big thing is that they were mentioning that the horror element is like on full display. Like you feel nervous
Really?
most of the game. So like, yeah, because you're being hunted for good portions of the game.
I feel like the original had some of that going on it too. The original Metroid had kind of like a scary vibe, I thought. But maybe I was a kid and
I
everything
agree.
scared me. So
Fusion did as well, like just having like all these entities chase you. So I think it's good. I think it's gonna be a great game. I look forward to it.
I'm excited.
Speaking of being excited,
Oh, tell me about it.
just as I said that, audio listeners, Ocarina of Time loaded up onto the screen. 64 coming to Switch. Anyone else see that coming other than this guy and probably all of us?
when I watched your video, I kind of saw that coming.
Yeah. You're all welcome, by the way. I felt like I've been really nailing it lately. Last year, I said a new Switch was coming this year. Here we are getting the OLED. I said 64 was coming to Switch. And it's not at all because I'm in a group chat with Spawn and I get a bunch of information every day. Like, not even in the slightest. It's just all me.
Sure.
I figure this stuff out on my own.
The Genesis is the one that kind of threw people off.
Yeah.
But it's there had been talks about that. There had been talks about the Genesis coming. That had been kind of mentioned here and there.
Does anybody think it's ironic that Nintendo has revived the Sega channel essentially? Not only that,
Yeah.
it's a cool talking point too, because a lot of these games are already available on the Switch in the Genesis or the Mega Drive collection. Like I have the physical cartridge for that. So the fact that they're making this an extra bonus premium thing with the Genesis wireless controller is really cool. But that's that. I mean, come on, we got Banjo-Kazooie on Switch, and plus F-Zero was mentioned for the first time in how long by Nintendo? I mean, like to me, those two are the most significant out of the Direct.
So do you feel like Nintendo's done making classic consoles, those mini consoles at this point?
Yeah.
They might be. I don't really know what else they make. I mean, you know what I'd really like is a Game Boy Classic. I think that'd be pretty cool to just go pick up.
Yeah.
Everybody was really saying that the 64 would be next, but
yeah.
I mean, now they're selling the controller for $50.
I have a
how
feeling
can they put out a mini.
I have a feeling there's always a chance that they had plans for it, but because of everything going on with chip shortages and all that, they may have looked at that and been like, nah, it's not happening. Because there have been talks from different like outlets like New York Times, Business Insider, that like even just the power regulation chips, ones you wouldn't even think of, that are supposed to be like 5 cents or like over $1 or over $1 now. And you realize, wow, that's a 20x over what it's supposed to cost.
That's a lot when it adds up.
Yeah, exactly. So they're like, I have a feeling they thought about it and then they realized, wow, this isn't a good time for this. Let's just put it on the Switch and we'll make a controller.
Do you think that's why the Genesis controller ended up costing $50 as well?
I think that costs $50 because they have to split some of it with Sega.
Probably, yeah.
I think that's why it's
that
$50.
is a very expensive Genesis controller.
It is.
Although, did you see what controller Japan is getting?
Yeah,
Japan's
the 6
getting
button.
The 6 button. It's disappointing. So that's the one that we really want.
Yeah.
You know
what I'm curious about? You think that 64 controller has Rumble?
Yeah, we were talking about that. I would love that.
I think that'd be cool.
I mean,
I'm curious how 1-to-1 that 64 controller is too with that analog stick.
Yeah,
I'm curious too.
There's so many questions, and also another question: why did they put the capture and home button at the top? It's another question.
Okay. So here's something I'm wondering, because I was not aware of this, but Sean has mentioned this several times now. That 64 controller, how do you hold it?
Everyone holds it differently, but
how do you hold it?
The middle and then the right hand on the right.
I hold it
with
with
the D-pad.
Yeah.
Yes. That's how you, everybody does that. They hold the middle part with their left hand and the right. Okay. Sean says he holds it with the D-pad and then he reaches over like this to get to the thumbstick.
Yeah, he's wrong.
He is wrong, but I'll say, as someone who plays Xbox controller with the claw method, where I reach over my hand.
No
like
way.
this to
Do you
press-
really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
The reason being is you have these two thumbsticks, and if you're like usually looking around with this one, right? And I developed this with Gears of War because you run by pressing A. So you can't look and run at the same time. And I played so much Gears, I just got used to playing like this.
Interesting.
And now I always play
Okay.
like that. It's actually an advantage because you have fingies all over the place. So
but if you have your Elite controller, can you just press the bottom paddle?
Oh yeah, I mean, but I'm really bad about remapping my brain like that. But I will say that he is technically wrong on this, because if you don't know, that middle part of the 64 controller is a Wii nunchuck.
Oh yeah,
Did you know that?
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you take that like little middle part bendy bit and you kind of just curve it up around and wrap around that red button and like cut it out, you have the trigger on the back and the nub on the front. It is actually the Wii nunchuck. So you're supposed to hold it like that, and then you're supposed to hold a side. I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to have 3 prongs, but that's how it is.
How does Sean move the analog stick and hit the Z trigger button at the same time?
I don't know. He was explaining it. I'm like, how did that work? I think the biggest thing is he played a lot of wrestling games and used the D-pad for wrestling games on the 64.
That's what I'm saying. If you grew up playing a certain thing that you needed to like do it like that way for, you just kind of develop the habit. And I mean, if he can hold the 64 controller more like a normal controller, power to him, I guess.
I feel like a lot of people are going to buy that 64 controller as well. I think that's going to be a hot seller.
Oh, yeah, that'll be hard to get. If you've never bought one of these controllers before, it's kind of a process. You need to like log into Nintendo with your account. You need to be subscribed to their online service on that account, and then you order it that way. For me, it's even tougher because my subscription is an Australian one. So I think every time one of these come out, I have to pay $3 to get an American one on my American account for the month, order the controller, and then just let the $3 expire is the only way I managed to get it. But yeah, it's definitely a process, and I'm going to try and get that for sure. I guess I'll get the Genesis one too, because that's collectible. It's a Nintendo Genesis controller.
Yeah, they'll have their branding on it.
That's insane.
On the back, there should be a Nintendo logo printed stamped on the back of that Genesis controller.
Weird, dude. Like, what timeline are we living in?
Sega does what Nintendo
also does.
Tells them.
We went from a point where Nintendo and Genesis were fighting it out, and now we have Nintendo holding up Genesis controllers in their directs.
What a flex, really, when you think about it.
Who really won?
That's true.
Look at that man's face too. He knows. He's like, we did it. We did it. We crushed him a long time ago.
Oh wait,
curious.
Okay, that's a good point.
If the analog stick is like able to be transplanted from the modern to.
If this keeps going, and we get to a point where there are more tiers, so that there's a whole tier expansion pack, all that, and we get Dreamcast games, we get a Dreamcast controller from Nintendo too.
Oh my god, I hope so. I hope so.
Oh my gosh.
Built-in screen. I doubt it would be removable. Be a built-in screen.
Oh.
That'd be cool. Yeah, let's do that. I like that.
Sick. Imagine if they actually make it work with other games too, like maybe Pokemon Sword and Shield, and you get like a little Pokemon on the screen or something.
Nintendo VMU.
That'd
be fun.
Sick.
Yeah, I'd be here for that. That'd be cool.
Nintendo out here flexing like, we may have caused PlayStation, but we crushed Genesis.
How much do you think How much do you think this expansion pack's gonna cost?
$10.
Yeah, it's a good question. I have no idea. I also
25 and 10 surely.
I find it weird to rationalize it, because you're literally paying to subscribe to play 64 games for how long? Because a lot of them you'll probably knock out your favorite ones. Are you gonna keep paying? Are you gonna pay for like a month? Can you pay for a month, or do you have to buy a whole year?
I know you can buy monthly for a lot of these things, but the expansion pack, you're right, might be something. It's like you have to sign up for the year to get this expansion pack or something. That's a good point. They might lock you in.
Because like I don't mind paying for Game Pass like $10 a month, because it's constantly changing, evolving library. You get all the exclusives when they release, but this is like 64 games.
See, here's my issue with what Nintendo's doing with this is they should have their own Game Pass right now. Off to the side, they should really recruit Sega, TurboGrafx, everything they had on the Wii, and just built it into this one subscription service that's like $10 a month, like Game Pass. But the problem they're running into is they have done nothing to improve their online.
No.
So these games prop up their online right now and make it valuable. That's the whole thing. So if they were better with online that could be comparable to my original Xbox from 2002, then they could charge $30 for that, keep that off to the side, and then have this for $10 a month with probably exponentially more games, because there wouldn't be a barrier of money basically involved and cost. $10 a month is $120 a year, which even at $30 for this expansion pack, that's 4 times more, which tells me GameCube games should open up, Wii games should open up, Dreamcast, Saturn. They should be able to run all over the place and get games, because they'd have significantly more backing.
I agree with that. And look, I'm only going to buy it once Quest 64 comes out, so that's all. I
That is fair.
And you know what's interesting is if they made that application, what Nintendo should do is experiment with putting it on something like the PC. That's what they should do, because that's their legacy. That's their legacy software. It's not new stuff, like how they put their own IPs on cell phones. They should even try that. Put it on a cell phone and see what happens.
They should, but I don't think they're about that life.
Probably not. There's too much money involved.
Also, I will say that on top of just getting the 64 stuff, I mean, they do have online features for the 64 games, which is surreal.
Smash Brothers Online. That's what we all want right there.
Well, you can do Mario Kart 64 online.
Yep.
It's a no-brainer.
Interesting.
Dude. Well, that's what's happening.
Very fun.
That's what's happening. It's insane, dude. It's insane. It's like, what timeline?
Diddy Kong Racing Online.
I was saying to Spawn on his podcast too, like, imagine if they decided to add in like Nintendo 64 Link into Mario Kart 64, and they did like the first ever like 64 DLC, and you can race around Hyrule as Link and all the Mario cast. Like, that would be crazy.
I just open my wallet for Nintendo at that point. Honestly,
I do every day. I wake up and I spread my wallet wide for Nintendo. I don't think there's a day that I don't do it.
Yep.
And it's things like this that cause me to do so. All right. So other than Bayonetta, which we'll just breeze past it because we're running on, very exciting. Can't wait to see more of it. I'm a huge fan of the series. If anyone has anything Bayonetta they want to add, I don't think we need to just go and buy Bayonetta.
There was something interesting that was brought up with Bayonetta 3, and people started to notice this. It appears to have a lot of similarities to a canceled game from Platinum.
Yeah, that is actually interesting.
It's scale-bound.
Yeah.
Like the large creatures and stuff that they had there, the summons. Apparently that idea was kind of pulled out of Scalebound because they're sharing, I believe, the same director or producer.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're bringing that idea into Bayonetta.
So Scalebound was a game that people were really excited for, but then just dissipated and never actually happened. Bayonetta 3 is the same guy, and he's introducing these ideas. I think that might be for a couple reasons. One, he just loved the ideas, but also maybe felt like Bayonetta just needed a refresh to get more people interested. And it did cause a big buzz. People are talking about it.
Yep. I like the idea a lot. Why not? Yeah. But I'm a little concerned though, because we think Bayonetta is probably out next holiday. Next fall?
Has to be by. I mean, it's 2022.
Yeah,
it has to be by then.
Because I think they put it on their website. They put it in the schedule later in the year. So like September, October. I'm a little concerned the game's going to come out and it's going to have that. Wow, this is really pushing the Switch hard issue. Just from what I saw, I'm like, oh man, looks like that Switch is is really getting pushed around by this game. So I am hoping that by then, this time this game comes out, we're at least hearing about some sort of upgrade for hardware, because this is a game that would probably look incredible on that OLED Switch, but with better hardware attached to it. But I mean, the game looks fun from what they're showing. So. Yeah, I'm excited for it, but that's just like the little extra thing is like just that slightly more powerful Switch. Just help us.
Hey, I would love it next year. I mean, I'd love the views more than anything.
Don't forget about Splatoon, by the way. Splatoon 3, I'm hyped for.
Yeah. Very excited for Splatoon 3.
Yeah.
Mario movie.
I forgot that we were doing that. Oh gosh.
Mario movie.
Let's go! Gosh. This is the moment everyone's been waiting for.
I've decided I have to see this movie now.
Everyone has to see it. It's
Everybody's
going to be a train wreck.
It's
going to be a literal train wreck. They didn't show us the movie, and there's no way anyone listening or watching doesn't already know about this, but they revealed the cast for the movie. So first up, and no, I'm not lying, we have Chris Pratt playing Mario.
So everyone's just picturing Star-Lord talking out of Mario's head right now, right? That's the idea. It's gonna be weird.
It doesn't make any sense. I was losing my mind watching this.
Everyone was just confused, and that's the biggest problem. You know what they should have done? They should have shown all these people who are doing the voicing, and then just immediately broke into a 1-minute trailer for the movie.
Yeah, or at least a sample of the voice or something. Chris on Instagram did a thing where he was like, yeah, it's a me, Mario. And then he was like, that's not the voice. You'll have to wait for the voice. We're working on it. So, is he doing a Mario voice? Is he doing his own version of a Mario voice? Or is he going to sound like that Lego guy from the Lego movie, which is essentially
I think
just
he's going
Chris
to do
Pratt?
some sort of characterization of it. Like, obviously, if Miyamoto's in play here, like he has pull and is able to say, okay, here's creative direction, kind of, right? I think inevitably it's going to be Chris Pratt playing Mario. We all know that.
Mhm.
But like, what's his spin on the character actually going to be? So like when I saw Chris Pratt, I was like, okay. I wasn't like, oh my,
My
look at
God,
this.
no, it is ridiculous.
Everyone was
It is
laughing.
ridiculous,
It
but
makes no sense at all. I've
you
been
could probably pull it off.
I've
I don't
been
know.
loving watching the reactions from everyone online, just dying with laughter.
I'm willing to give it a shot.
This is the most Hollywood washed cast for a movie to try and get butts in the seats. The thing is, if he
And
does an
it's working.
Italian accent, that kind of sucks for people that could have played the role that were maybe Italian. Like, I just watched that Luca movie, and there was a lot of great like Italian talent in that movie voicing characters, and there were a lot of people that could have played Mario really well. So if he's not doing an accent, and if he does, it's weird, and if he doesn't, it's just Chris Pratt playing Mario.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The only way I could see it working is if this is some like, if it's not Mario going to save Peach from Bowser, and instead it's something like an alternate universe dimension reality where Mario
Okay.
and the gang get ripped out of the Mushroom Kingdom and they end up in like current day New York. Like, it's all animated, but they're in the real world and they're now voiced by these actors. Maybe they even know that they're in the bot. Maybe Chris Pratt is literally Chris Pratt in Mario and he's like, why am I Mario? Or
Yep.
they just get these like real voices for some reason. Like, I can't.
I think that's plausible, actually. Yeah.
Because
There's-
you
yeah.
really have to picture like, what is this movie going to be? And picture it being a traditional Mario movie with Bowser, Peach, all of that saving. And now just put these voices in there. That's wrong, right? That doesn't make any sense. That would be weird.
There's some speculation that it's basically going to be a Jumanji game or movie just featuring the skin of
Yeah.
Mario or something, where the people get sucked into the game. And,
Yeah.
and that could be interesting, but I think we've all seen in
We've seen it.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could totally see that. Maybe there's a real world, an animated real world, and Chris Pratt is playing like Stanley, who works in an office or something, but he's like a human. And then they get sucked into the Mario world, and now they have to beat the Mario game, and they're all like
Yeah.
the characters.
That would make sense. Yeah.
That's the
Mhm.
only way
That would
I
make-
can see the voices. I'm not saying I want to see that movie because it's been done and I don't want to see it, but that's the only way I could see the voices working.
Yeah.
Especially, let's keep going because some of them get even more ridiculous. Although Chris Pratt is so cool.
He's so
He's
cool.
so cool. He's so cool.
He's a crisp rat.
Indeed.
We have. I don't know who this is, honestly, but Kim
neither. I don't
does.
know.
And Kim was
No
like,
idea.
that actually makes sense. So I'm going to take Kim's
She's
word
looking-
for it.
She looks like Princess Peach, I guess. So
The thing is, Peach just kind of talks cute. So, like, you could do a Peach voice. So Peach isn't, like, that ridiculous to assume someone casting.
no.
This is the same issue as Chris Pratt. However, I
think it's
really
perfect.
like
Isn't-
Charlie Day.
So Luigi's just going to be really hyper and all over the place, bouncing off the
Yeah.
walls.
Charlie
makes
Day
sense.
does have Luigi energy, but again, not in a traditional Mario movie. But I could see it working if the before mentioned idea is what they've run with.
Yeah.
But I really do like him. I hope they're not doing accents. Do we hope they're doing accents or not? What's the poll here?
Surely. No.
They're probably going to do
I
accents,
really-
watch.
I can see him being really upset about being Luigi.
I don't think they could.
They can't. I hope they don't do accents. But is Mario Italian anymore then at that point, or is he just some guy?
He would just be some guy.
Yes,
I don't know.
yeah.
It's finding the right balance of Mario as a character and embracing that obvious Italian heritage, but yet staying true to like Chris Pratt being like.
So
Chris
that you're
Pratt
telling me
playing
there
Mario.
is going to be a white guy named Luigi, just like a Caucasian Luigi.
Yeah.
I don't want to stereotype the name Luigi, but that's an Italian name.
Hey yo.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be like from Brooklyn or whatever, right? Like Mario and Luigi, like originally, like the what does the manual say? I don't even remember. It's been so long.
Yeah,
but
well,
like,
actually, that's a good point. I guess the Mario movie we had, they were Brooklyn, right? They weren't Italian.
like Bob Hoskins and who else? Yeah, I mean, it could be worse. Let's keep that in mind.
True. That's very true.
I guess they could be from Brooklyn. I guess that does make sense. Hey,
I mean, yeah.
I'm walking here, Mario. Hey,
Coffee over here.
I'm collecting the coins, Mario. That's my Brooklyn, not my Italian.
That's very good. I don't know why they didn't hire you.
I mean, at this point, anyone could do it, really. This is it's the worst casting I've ever seen for a movie.
The weird thing is, this is the one that everybody's excited about.
I'm okay with Jack Black being Bowser. I'm okay with that.
Perfect.
Because it's Jack
perfect.
Black and everyone loves Bowser, but how is it in any way perfect when you think of Bowser as a character? All he does is grunt and scream. He has literally no personality. He's not funny.
I mean,
he doesn't say
That's
anything.
what they're doing, though. I think
That's what Jack Black does.
that's what they're doing with these actors that they're casted to play these characters. I think it tells you what kind of direction they're going in. Obviously, like Charlie Day has a specific vibe in like Always Sunny for some reason, or for example, and that's what I think Luigi's going to be. He's going to be like that kind of character. Jack Black is going to be Jack Black, but as Bowser. So I mean,
so you think he's going to be trying to be Bowser? Because that's a waste of Jack Black.
They'll probably take his voice and alter it a little bit too for Bowser.
Sure.
Yeah, they'll make it deeper. But are we going to get a wisecracking, funny Bowser? Because if so, who's going to be the bad guy then? And if Jack Black's just playing a traditional Bowser, then you could have got anyone to do that. You just want.
How do we know? How do we know Bowser is it? Yeah. What if he's not the bad guy?
Well, he can't be if he's Jack Black, because he's either going to be just a very boring Jack Black, or he's going to be a funny comic relief character, and there's going to be a different bad guy.
Maybe it'll be like how in Super Mario RPG there was a bigger bad guy than Bowser, and he ended up teaming up with you. Maybe that's what happens here. Maybe there's some because they wouldn't reveal that character with casting.
No,
yet.
for sure.
Gino confirmed.
It might not even be someone that we know of, honestly. It could be a completely different.
All I know is whenever they drop the trailer for this movie, it's gonna like blow up the internet.
Yes, it's gonna
for
be,
sure.
It's gonna be huge. Who was next?
This is great.
It's perfect.
This again.
I mean, just put the toad hat on him, and it's done.
This again goes into it can't be a traditional Mario movie, because what's the point of getting Keegan to do a Toad voice? Just get a Toad. Just get Toad. Just get whoever plays Toad. So it's going to be Keegan as Toad.
Wisecracking Toad.
So it can't be a traditional movie. It has to be something off the wall and weird.
Absolutely. They hired so many characters or actors who always play themselves in anything that
Exactly my point. All these actors always play themselves. I can't think of a movie any of these people have been in to date, and tell me if I can't, but they've all been themselves. Chris Pratt's been himself in everything.
Yeah.
Keegan's been himself in everything. Jack Black is Jack Black, and he's Jack Black in everything.
Everything.
I mean, Charlie Day, we don't know too much. I mean, he hasn't done a great deal, but everything I've seen of Charlie Day, he's been Charlie Day.
Yeah.
And then the biggest example of that theory
Oh my god.
is the next one, which is the most ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't get this one. I don't get what's Seth Rogen doing
This
here?
is just like the poster child of my whole theory. Like, Seth Rogen can only be Seth Rogen.
I've never seen him in a dramatic role.
He can only be himself. Like, that laugh is like him in everything.
I posted a tweet because I saw Bob Wolf posted something about Seth Rogen, like with the Donkey Kong laugh or something. Then I tweeted at him. I said Donkey Bonga confirmed for Switch. It's so funny because I guess canonically Donkey Kong smokes pot. So there you go.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't know.
So if they don't play around with these voices though, we're just gonna hear these people.
Yes.
We're gonna hear Seth Rogen instead of Donkey Kong, basically.
I'm telling you now, this is not a traditional story.
Nah.
This has to be, and I'm fine with it if they can come up with something unique that hasn't been done a million times. This is not a traditional Mario movie. This is not Mario going to save Peach from Bowser. This is something completely off the wall. I mean, you can kind of look at the Sonic movie and what they did, but they took the idea of Sonic and they made it a buddy cop road trip movie. Like, this is something like that. Like, it's off the wall. It's different. The first thing I can think of, because it's been done a million times, so I hope they don't do it, is like an alternate universe, like going into a video game, and these people are them just like Jumanji, and Jack Black is just reprising his role from Jumanji. Hopefully they do something different and more unique than that, but it is, and I'm telling you now, something you will not expect, something off the wall.
I agree with that.
Hopefully be good, but it is not a traditional Mario story.
I'm going to watch it anyway. It'll be fun.
And my bet is it's going to get 65 on Metacritic.
For sure. No, it'll get a 64 for Nintendo 64.
And on Rotten Tomatoes, it'll get like them a little bit more pretentious. It'll get like 53% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It'll get a 69, I'm sure.
And
it'll end up making a stupid amount of money.
It'll make a stupid amount of money, and fans will be split, where a lot of people will make all these excuses and say that it was like amazing and they loved it, and then the other half that actually care about movies as movies will say it was a bad movie. So the same thing that happened with Sonic.
Way to carry on the legacy, right?
Yeah, true. What about Charles Martinet? Is anybody like kind of miffed that he's not playing Mario?
He's got a cameo, he says.
Yeah.
I'm guessing personally that whenever Mario starts jumping around, they'll probably throw in his Yahoo or whatever, as a nod.
What if they do like it's not just like the CGI Mario characters? What if it does also blend in with the real world, so the real people, and he plays like the Stan Lee role where he just occasionally shows up as a FedEx driver or something to drop something off, really and this turns into a huge universe of Mario movies, and he's just always there to cameo for some random thing.
That's my thing with him being in the movie at all is if it's a traditional Mario movie, which we've already said it's not, and he's in the movie but not getting to play Mario, that's where it's like, that sucks. Which is why I feel like it could be something where the movie begins and it's the video game and he's doing Mario and everything's completely normal, and then something happens and everything gets thrown out of whack and suddenly it's Chris Pratt now and not traditional Mario. I could see that.
I do think it was nice for Nintendo to give Charles a nod. I mean, they could have gone typical Nintendo and just like not even acknowledged him. So it's good for him that he's.
So this is an interesting question. If they do that thing with the real world mixed in with the CG stuff from Mario, like between the two, do you think they also have Miyamoto show up as a cameo as well?
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, when I said real world, I meant like a animated real world. It just becomes more like gritty and realistic, but still animated. Because it's Illumination, I don't think they're going to try. But yes, Miyamoto as a real life character, if they do ever hit the real world for a point in the movie, would be amazing for sure. And when they start building the NCU, he could definitely make an appearance in every movie.
Hey, you know what? A Metroid movie I think would work.
Oh, absolutely. It would work way better than whatever this is.
Yeah, I think you could make a movie out of The Legend of Zelda, I think you do.
And I think
starring Danny DeVito.
A lot of people get, and this is probably going to sound weird considering the rant I just went on about fanboying over Mario, but a lot of people say you can't really do a Zelda movie, or like they would make Link speak. I actually am okay with Link speaking in a movie role. It just has to be like limited. And I look at The Witcher on Netflix as an example. Dude barely talks.
Yeah,
it's very stoic when he does. You could do a very similar thing with Link. Just a man of very few words, but says something when needed. That's very doable. I mean, honestly, playing Breath of the Wild, I kind of wish they had given Link a voice for like a few things, because everyone else was talking, and it's becoming that awkward situation where you're just so aware of the fact that he can't talk.
Yep.
Yeah.
I kind of hope even in the games they give Link just a couple of lines, or just more animation with more grunts or something. But yeah, they could do a Zelda movie, and I think it would be fine to have him talk, and I think they could do something really cool. Even a show like The Witcher on Netflix could be really interesting in the Zelda universe.
I'd watch it, no matter what it is. Even if it's going to be bad, I just think it's cool to see these things adapted in this way.
Honestly,
they were apparently going to do it, and then somebody leaked it, and then Nintendo decided to cancel it because someone leaked it.
Yep.
But
Maybe we'll try it
Nintendo.
again.
I'm definitely excited 10 years from now to sign up to Nintendo Plus and
There we go.
watch all the movies in the NCU, and they'll have all the old Zelda cartoon on there, this throwback for you to go back and watch too. I can see it.
Dude,
I
Mario.
love it. I'm all in on it.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about the direct more than I thought we would, but that was pretty much everything. I mean, there were other things, but let's be honest.
Save it for next time.
All right, so I put in my predictions for the movies, Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. You three give it a stab, and then we can regroup next year and see how we did.
Going 68%.
On Rotten Tomatoes?
Sure.
Okay.
I'd say Metacritic is probably a little bit higher, maybe 70%, because people are gonna like, even if if the movie isn't that great, people are gonna love the visual aspect of it. It's good to see Mario on
The movie rating scale sticks way closer to like an 8 being incredible or something. You know, like people think of movie reviews with video game reviews. If it's like a 7, people are like, oh, what happened? You know, but with like a movie, that's considered incredible. So just so people understand, like 68%.
I'd probably say,
would be considered
that's
average
fair.
in movies. Yeah,
I agree with that.
I'm thinking Rotten Tomatoes probably closer to 40%, honestly. But then Metacritic, I mean, because Rotten Tomatoes, like you said, is a bunch of snobs.
They're very pretentious, yes.
They love to crap all over everything.
I think
right?
they gave
Metacritic,
Sonic like around a 50 or 60 though, so
yeah.
I would use that I was using that as a guide. I think they'll give it around the same.
Metacritic,
I
though,
enjoyed Sonic.
I think I'll split the difference and call it split the difference between John rather and Eric and go with a nice 69%.
Okay, I think all this is pretty reasonable, honestly. I do think it'll end up in there no matter what happens, however it's perceived by fans. I think it's going to be a hard sell for a lot of fans, but I also think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. I mean, Sonic did work because they went a little off the wall. And the guy that voiced Sonic was like a big actor, or like a big-ish actor, right? He was the guy from Community. I forget his name, but he's a really funny guy. And they did that with Sonic. I think it's weirder with Mario because we are so used to them being Italian. And but
here's the question. Okay, so who would have rights to this movie after it goes out of theaters? Like, where would it show up again? Like, would it show up in a streaming service? Would it show up just? I mean, obviously it's gonna be sold as a Blu-ray or something in stores. But like, where does it go after that? Because
Universal or something
DVD.
like that.
I wonder if Nintendo would look at their online service and be like, oh, there's gonna be a weekend where we just drop it on there for you to watch on your Switch.
that would be really clever, actually.
That's a great idea.
I was gonna
do that.
wasn't thinking that they could do that. I would say the only other place it would turn up for free streaming would be if one of like somewhere like Amazon Prime or something paid for the rights.
Yeah,
like
that's
paid
what I'm
out
thinking.
the butt for the
Maybe
rights.
YouTube Premium or something.
Yeah, somebody's going to pay a lot of money for it either way, but I almost wonder if Nintendo would also be like, hey, this is run its course in theaters. We already got a big check, and part of the clause is we get to drop it for a weekend on Nintendo Switch Online just to get people
That would be
interested
really
in
cool.
it, you know, to
But
see what I move. Because you're right. Well, there's going to be people who have reservations about going to see a Mario
Yeah.
movie, but it could be something weird, like you're saying, to where it's not very basic. And it could be really good for all we know. So
They could put it as well in like the expansion pass tier as well, so you have to be paying that
Exactly.
little bit more. Yeah,
Yep.
You know, people
Totally.
have been really crazy about like, oh, why is there no Netflix on the Switch? Maybe this is why.
This is why. Yeah, that's a great
This is
idea.
the why.
Honestly,
someone
This
in
is the
someone
one.
in chat said, "Good idea?" Question mark. Well, then Nintendo won't do it.
yep.
That's true.
That's also
Probably yes.
All right. I need to ask you, Eric, because I forgot at the top of the show.
fair. Yes.
You're in the same house, right? You've changed location again.
No, unfortunately, no. I'm kidding. Yeah, we moved. We moved the
Oh,
setup
okay.
around.
Okay.
I was talking with Amber last night. She's like, oh well, it might be better to have a better backdrop as more of like a proper set
Right.
rather than just like you can see the back of the office here and then back of the whatever. So it's the walls are really bare. I finished this at midnight last night, so
You
I'm
gotta
getting
put
some
some
wall art.
posters
So yeah, I'm gonna have a bunch of
You know
stuff
what's
next
actually
week.
would be sick? I can link you to if you're interested and they ship to you. And this is a sponsor coming up in my video, but I'm not sponsored right now. I just actually like them. Have you heard of Displate?
Yes, I
Yes.
have.
I
Yes.
actually
Those are cool.
I actually realized they're kind of sick. Like I took the
Yeah.
sponsor because I was like, sure. I mean, it's posters. They're these big, thick metal posters, they come with this giant magnet that doesn't damage your wall. You throw the magnet on the wall, and then you just put the thing up. You don't have to worry about lining it up and positioning a screw or anything and having a wonky poster. But the best part is, if you buy several and you just have 1 or 2 spots in your house for a poster, you can switch them out whenever you want. You just...
I think it's a great.
That'd be kind
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, it'd be kind of sick for behind you. Not a sponsor, but a sponsor coming up. I have them in my living room, and I'm like, I might actually buy more.
Yeah, I'm looking at. Well, I've got a bunch of records behind me and stuff. I want to put some records up, and like once my actual vinyls that I've produced show up, I'll have those on the wall. But like aside from that, like I want some cool other things.
Yeah, you need something over there.
This plate I think is a great idea. I'm looking at them now. See if they ship to Australia.
They have the Super Mario World overworld map.
Oh,
that's cool.
Wait to buy them until halfway through next month.
But I'll beat them out 30% off.
The lightning bolt looks sick, though. I actually spent all weekend reorganizing and cleaning the entire house. And you might be able to see I've reorganized behind me, and I've put LEDs in.
It's tidy, yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
You see those LEDs?
Clean.
Yeah,
it's clean.
Yeah, they're rotating right now.
Nice.
Kim was jealous because she did her room downstairs and put in. I was over LED strips. I had that at the old house, and I was like, that's such a gimmick. It's such like everyone has them. Kim redid her room, and it's like very white in there. And then she put these LEDs up, and now all of a sudden everything's getting lit up. And I'm like, damn it, that looks kind of sick. But she asked me what should I buy, and I linked her these LEDs. And she bought those, and then I saw them. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I went online. I found better ones that connect to my mobile, and they have like a clap and stuff. And then Kim comes up, and she's like, did you copy me? And I was like, yes, but look at this. And I was like clapping, and it was changing lights. And she was like, I linked the ones you bought me. Mine don't clap. I was like, sorry.
You got a one up.
Had to one
That's
up.
good.
They actually go all the way around. They wrap up on that bookcase. They wrap all the way around here and then to the front of my desk. I'm in like a rave right now. It's sick.
I had some cheapy ones from Kmart, but they don't stick very well. And like, you have to buy the more premium ones, with the Bluetooth connectivity and stuff like that. So I'll look into that one day.
Well, I had a blast. It was nice to talk about some Nintendo stuff and some gaming stuff for a change. Spawn, do you have anything in your life going on right now that you want to gab about? Any questions for us? Anything you want to bring up?
Not really, other than we'll be at Too Many Games in a couple weeks, so people should come out and check us there.
We have a tradition that has only happened once because we've only been there once, but we've always talked about making it a tradition. We get wings. What's the place called? Should we give them a shout out? No, because then people will try and find us at dinner.
I have no idea. I can't remember what it is. And to be honest, I don't even. I got to double check to see if they're even still there.
Yeah, it's been a few years actually.
Yeah, obviously all the stuff going on. It's like we got to see. We'll see. I'm thinking they are, and I think that'll be fun. We'll get wings.
Either way, yeah, we'll get wings. That's our tradition. We're gonna work out Saturday morning. And then we're probably just gonna like chill. I'm gonna come to your podcast. There's your live podcast. The panel. That's the word I'm looking for.
The panel cast.
Saturday night, there's always Too Many Games after party, which I'm going to appear at, but not stick around at. My plan for the weekend, I'm wearing a mask, I'm sanitizing, I have a table, so I'll be behind a table for most of it, away from people as much as possible.
Okay.
And kind of like going maybe a little late, maybe dipping out for lunch, maybe coming back. I'll try and be there like at least 60-70% of the time, but I'm trying to limit how long I'm there just because of the way the world is. And I'm going to be limiting my time at the after party, but as much as I'm there, I want to be hanging out with you and everyone because
I think we'll have fun. We'll see everybody. Yeah, it'll be a good time. So people should come out.
Think about who's going. I mean, we got you, me, Miss Click, Austin John Play said he might swing by. Sean's gonna go. Wolfden's gonna be there. Like literally, everyone.
I think OJ. Yeah, I think OJ will be there. I think Ant Dude said he'll be there.
Jordan's going, right?
Jordan will be there.
No, I don't think Super Derek's going.
Oh, it sucks.
I mean, it's like the whole clique essentially is going.
Obviously, Scott's going. He's
Dreamcast guy is going.
Dreamcast guy's going.
Is going. Now
it's gonna be fun.
Now I feel like we can't miss anyone. I don't think we have though. Charles Marnet is going to be there. If you have any questions about the Mario, he's going to get so stressed this weekend with the Mario
Oh
movie.
yeah, everyone's gonna be asking
can't
what's
just say
this
anything.
about?
Dude,
What's this
everyone's
about?
going to be asking what the movie is about, who he's playing, why he didn't get to play the main role, how he feels about that.
Oh
That's
man,
going to be a nightmare for him. That's
That'll
going
be
to be a
fun.
nightmare. That's like when I went to a convention, like the weekend after I made the video about my house getting flooded. That was a horrible idea.
Oh,
Literally
yeah,
the
that's a
whole
good
weekend.
point.
I was trying to be there and just have fun and take my mind off things. Every single person, like I'm like literally there with a smile, trying to have fun. Every single person coming up to see me. Hey man, yeah, I heard. I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
Oh, sorry.
Like the whole weekend, I'm like, oh my god, can we just have fun? Like, do we have to talk about my house flooding with every person? All right. Well, I guess that's our show, unless anyone else has anything. Eric, anything this week you want to bring up?
I'm just busy doing my own thing, man. Just keep my head down, working hard. That's it. That's all you can do.
Producer?
Not really. I'm good.
Wow, we're all talked out.
It's been good chatting with you three and then Spinewave. It's nice to formally meet you as well. Thank you so much for coming on the show and setting aside time out of your evening to come on here and chat about all this stuff. So it's great. I love having guests. It's love to network and meet new people too, and especially the people watching and listening right now. It's been great.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right. Well, if you want to check out Spawnwave, please do. He's got abs. You can find him at YouTube Spawnwave, or you can, of course, watch the Spawncast. You also have like a second channel, which is doing really well.
As a channel, I just put extra videos on if I have the time or can think of anything.
He does fantastic videos every single morning. There is an update on everything happening in the gaming world. It's literally the place to go to get information on all things gaming. What I love about your content too, which I probably should have mentioned, is just how like unbiased and just straight cut and just here's the information at your face, and it's always so informative. So subscribe to Spawn and get your daily gaming info.
100%.
Come see me. I'm there in the morning.
And other times,
Cool.
sometimes.
Sometimes. Depends if something cool happens.
All right, guys, if you want to listen to the show back or any of the episodes, go to woodenerekshow.com. You can find the audio versions, the video versions. You guys know how it works. Leave a voicemail at our phone number, which I don't remember offhand, but I'm sure you can find it. I had a blast with everyone. It's on the website. Fill out the valued viewer form, too. Maybe we'll look at those by next week. With that said, producer, you want to end the show in the way that you always do?
Sure, with fist bumps only.
Yeah.
I just did it. Fist bumps only.
Okay, well, it's over then.
Thank you for watching and listening. Catch up with the Wood and Eric Show at woodanderek.com. Fill out the valued viewer form to be part of the show, and leave the boys a voicemail at 210-951-4927. Bye!